Hello, Claire. How are you today?
Good.
Good. If you remember the last time, we had just kind of started talking about your and Simon's relationship. Is there anything else that you wanted to bring up? Any other events that you feel like have kind of brought you where you are at today?
Well, I just feel even now, after being separated, I still think back to all the instances of abuse, and it's still hard to get by
Yeah.
and move on from that.
So, what was maybe like the most problematic instance for you?
Well, it was kind of a gradual escalation of violence.
Mm-hmm.
It started out as him being more controlling before it got physical, and towards the end, it was really more of the physical aspects of it um, that left a kind of lasting effect.
Okay. And have you been able to form any meaningful relationships with any other individuals since you separated from Simon?
It's been difficult because it's been difficult just to move past that
Mm-hmm.
and to think about even forming any new relationships, romantically or otherwise, just because it's hard to kind of relate my feelings and move past what happened.
Sure. So, what is the most difficult part? Like, what do you find the most difficult about moving on? Is it the fear of it happening over again? Is it that you just haven't really found anybody that you're interested in?
I think it's probably a little bit of both. I think it's hard to get into another relationship when I do have the fear of it happening again,
Mm-hmm.
and it's hard to expect someone to understand what I went through, and I feel like a lot of times people don't understand that.
Right, yeah, that is difficult. So, this fear that you're kind of talking about, is it just when you're meeting new people? Does it just kind of happen all day, every day? Like, when does this fear really occur?
Yeah, it's pretty much all the time. It's always kind of either in the back of my mind or um, just kind of, I have a general fear of men,
Mm-hmm.
um, and that's been hard to kind of adapt to and get by.
Okay. So, are there instances where you feel the fear a little more intensely, or like at night versus in the morning, or anything like that?
I guess probably more so at night, but it can be any time when I feel particularly vulnerable, I guess.
Okay. And how does this fear make you feel?
It makes me want to kind of avoid a lot of aspects of life, which before I would have never really second guessed.
Okay.
From something just going to the store alone or just something pretty basic like that
Okay.
is kind of totally different now.
Mm-hmm. Do you have any social support around you at all right now?
I do have some friends that I talk to, but a lot of times I just feel like it almost makes things worse. I've had friends tell me that I should have gotten out of the relationship with Simon a long time ago,
Mm-hmm.
and I don't know if they necessarily mean to make it come off that way, but it feels like they're blaming me, and so I've just kind of avoided any conversation, so it's hard to get support when I don't really want to talk about it because I don't feel supported.
Okay. So I heard you kind of bring up avoidance. Are you mainly just avoiding these conversations? Do you think there's other aspects of your life where avoidance has kind of played a major role as well?
Yeah, a little bit of avoidance with friends and bringing up the conversation and just meeting new people in general. Because I guess I really just have a lot of trust issues now, and even the people that I thought were friends, I'm not really receiving a lot of support from.
Okay.
So it's hard to trust anyone or confide in anyone at this point.
So ever since you and Simon kind of went your separate ways, have you been able to form any trust with anybody or form any sort of relationships? I know previously you had disclosed that you went to like a supportive group when you were kind of toying with leaving Simon. Were you able to form any relationships with that or be able to trust anybody out of that experience?
It was useful in that experience to kind of just have the feeling that and understanding that other people have gone through what I've gone through.
Mm-hmm.
So I think that was helpful.
Okay. Do you feel like maybe you would be able to trust somebody a little bit better who kind of understands the experience that you've had or who has maybe gone through the same thing?
Yeah, I think that's definitely a big part of it because it's hard to relate it to someone that doesn't really understand.
Okay. So would you have any interest in maybe reaching out to some of those people that you kind of started to form a bond with? Do you have any way to like contact them or reach out to them or anything like that? Have you stayed in touch at all?
I probably could get back in touch with some of the people that I knew from that group.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I just think that would maybe be a good way to kind of reintroduce yourself to forming some of those bonds with people. And is it fair to say that maybe this avoidance and the fear are kind of impacting your desire or like ability to want to form some close relationships with people right now?
Yeah, I think that's a big part of it. I just really have no motivation to go out and
Mm-hmm.
make new friends or reconnect with people. It's just kind of hard to see the benefits and where it will go,
Okay.
I guess.
So ideally, what would be your first step that you would want to take to kind of reestablishing some trust with other individuals? It could even be people from your support group or people in your family who have kind of not really been there for you before, in the sense of when you were separating with Simon. Do you have any interest in reconnecting with them, and kind of how would you like that to look?
I think if I reconnected with family members, I think there would need to be more of an understanding on their part.
Mm-hmm.
I really don't think they understood where I was coming from at the time. Whereas people from my group already understand that, so I think reconnecting with them would be a little easier even.
Okay. And would you feel comfortable kind of taking the initiative to contact your family and kind of explaining that? Or are you just kind of shying away from them at this point?
I have been shying away from them,
Mm-hmm.
just because those conversations have been difficult in the past.
Okay. Would it be okay if I gave you a little bit of a homework assignment before our next session?
Yeah, sure.
Just maybe think about kind of who you would feel the most comfortable reaching out to and how you would feel comfortable reaching out to them and how you would like that relationship to look, and then we can talk about that a little bit more the next time when we meet, and we can go from there, maybe establish a little bit of a plan of how we can accomplish all of that.
Okay, yeah, I think that sounds good.
All right, well, thank you for coming in, Claire. It's nice to see you.
Thank you.